porque vamos a invitar a otra... Sí, muchas gracias. Tenemos una mesa redonda en la que vamos a hablar sobre el ecosistema de Business Angels en Andalucía, que hablaban de que en Andalucía tenemos de todo. Y no os voy a presentar nada porque tengo a un hombre estupendo que viene para presentarlo a él. Así que simplemente os voy a dejar con André Driever. ¡Ay, André! Venga, André, un aplauso para él porque él va a hacer toda la presentación solo. Bienvenido. ¿Te echo un cable? ¿Necesitas un cable? Yo te echo lo que haga falta, vamos. Uno o dos.
Para que puedas descansar un poco.
Nada.
Por no molestar. No necesito presentación.
No tengo presentación. Fenomenal. Pues André, todo tuyo.
Buenos días, buenas tardes a todos. Me llamo André Driever. Algunos de vosotros quizá me conocéis. Trabajo en Soprea. Soprea pertenece a la agencia IDEA, la Agencia de Innovación y Desarrollo de la Junta de Andalucía. Nosotros financiamos empresas desde la fase temprana, fase semilla, hasta la fase de consolidación. Quizá os suena del pasado la iniciativa Fondo Jeremy o fondos reembolsables. A día de hoy, la Junta de Andalucía apuesta por la financiación de startups. Ha creado un fondo nuevo que actualmente se encuentra en proceso de definición de las líneas. No obstante, tenemos ya más de 70 empresas en solicitud. Son empresas andaluzas o no andaluzas que tienen un centro operativo relevante en Andalucía. Nosotros no entramos en capital. En la gran mayoría financiamos las empresas con préstamos participativos. Y los proyectos que financiamos, siempre financiamos con un co-inversor privado. En algunas ocasiones, sobre todo en fases tempranas, las financiamos con un business angel. ¿Por qué digo en algunas ocasiones? No sé si habéis leído también el último informe publicado de la página web Capital Riesgo sobre el capital riesgo informal. En España, informal significa que el informe recoge los business angels y la financiación con aceleradoras. Y ahí me he quedado helado, o mejor dicho, en andaluz, me he quedado helado, que nosotros salimos en Andalucía como quinta región. ¿Vale? Eso quizá para alguno no es un dato muy llamativo, según ambición de cada uno, pero lo que sí es llamativo es el número de diferencia de operaciones formalizadas con los primeros tres. El primer puesto en operaciones formalizadas con Business Angels y aceleradora tiene Cataluña, con 182 operaciones. En el segundo puesto está la Comunidad Valenciana, con 125 operaciones, 67 de ellos formalizado por la aceleradora de Juan Roch, Lanzadera. En el puesto número 3 está Madrid, con 108 operaciones formalizadas. 108. Nosotros en el quinto puesto, ¿cuántas operaciones hemos formalizado aquí en Andalucía? Me refiero a operaciones startups con business angels o aceleradora. 13. ¿Quedan todavía algunos inversores, business angels aquí en el público? Que levanten la mano. ¿No queda ninguno? Pues entonces no puedo buscar culpables. No puedo buscar culpables. Tampoco es mi objetivo. Yo sé que hay seguramente múltiples de argumentos. Quizá simplemente no tenemos relación buena con la gente de Web Capital Riesgo y no reportamos nuestras operaciones, puede ser uno. O quizá otra razón es que no hay startups buenas aquí en el sur para invertir. Pero yo creo que todo el mundo que está aquí estamos de acuerdo que lo que tenemos que hacer es fomentar el ecosistema Business Angels en Andalucía. Y justo de eso quiero hablar con mis tres invitados. Dos de ellos son Business Angels de referencia y uno de ellos es emprendedor andaluz que ha levantado 15 millones de euros de financiación de Business Angels. Os toca ahora, penúltima mesa redonda, os toca ahora una jornada en inglés, ¿vale? que tenéis, creo que este sistema de traducción, ¿vale? Entonces, vamos a cambiar ahora al inglés. I'm happy to present my first friend, one of the heavy-duty business angels in Spain, with a current portfolio of 71 startups, 6 of them from Andalucia. He's the founder of Marbella Tech Angels, a network of more than 100 investors living around Marbella. He's also the co-founder of the Global Super Angels Club, a platform for angel investors investing six-figure amounts in startups. Please welcome Andreas Mihalowicz. I'm delighted to present to you our second guest. He's a team member of Tom Horsey, one of another heavyweight business angels, with whom he has been working for 14 years. Tom is currently invested in 40 startups, 30 of them from Andalucia. He's the founder of 2 accelerators, the Hub Movilidad Conectada, promoting mobility startups, and Startup Lab Spain, focused on digital marketing and B2C businesses. Please welcome Alex Hind. And please give a warm welcome to our third guest. He started his passion for startups in '99 when he launched, in collaboration with the MIT, the acceleration program 50K, where he promoted more than 100 startups. He's the author of the bestseller El Mundo que Viene, an essential book to understand what the future holds. And he's the founder and CEO of Universal Diagnostics, a biomedicine company that developed blood tests for the early detection of cancer, based in Seville and having raised 15 million euro from business angels. Please welcome Juan Martínez Barea. Let's start, guys. Andreas, the icebreaker questions for you. You are German. What's the reason why you live here in Andalusia, and why are you investing in startups?
So I will try to make a long story short. So I got in touch with the German startup ecosystem already in 1997 when I was studying business informatics in Germany, and I got bored by the old things we have learned. We have learned things from the 70s mainly, and I was really very interested to go out to the real world and learn how it is. And I got in touch with a little startup with 3 people who tried to copy eBay at that time, and I worked for them as a developer first, and we have been quite successful with this project. We have been the #1 internet auction after 12 months before eBay came to the German market. And I've been also a shareholder in this company. I've had to learn a lot how to build up technology of a company, also how to negotiate with acquirers of the company, because the company has been sold later then to an internet bank. Then in 1999, after I have graduated, of course I wanted to found my own startup with 2 friends of mine. Our first idea was to start with a social network based on news content, and we managed to get up to the top 5 news websites in Germany with this project. But then we had this problem with the .com bubble bursting, which caused our revenues to go down by 80%. And we basically then only had, I think, 6 to 7 weeks to survive and change our business model. And at that time, we have found out that it's a good idea to focus on subscription services. These are business models like Netflix, where you pay €5 per month to get a certain service. And I think we've been one of the pioneers in Germany for this kind of services. And already the first service we have launched was very profitable already in the first year. And that's why we have continued and evolved to kind of a venture builder, creating new daughter companies with different subscription services, mainly B2C subscription services for end customers. And then 10 years later, we had more than 200 employees. We had high 8-figure revenues, also nice 8-figure profits. And it was a bit strange. As founders, after more than 10 years, we got a little bit exhausted. We have been not comfortable in this role anymore with so many employees. and wanted to step back and only be shareholders in this company and find a management team to take over the regular business. And we needed 4 years to find the right team, and in 2012, finally, I've been free to leave the company, to do something new. I wanted to spend more time with my family, and occasionally we made a vacation in south of Spain. We have fell in love immediately with this region, Andaluci, especially with the Costa del Sol, which is very international, very cosmopolitan, where you have all these international business schools, and you have this nice airport, Malaga, which is very well connected. And we spontaneously decided to come and test out for 6 months to come to Marbella. And yeah, after 2 months, we already have decided to stay there for longer. And yeah, since then I'm living in Marbella. And yeah, I met some nice guys immediately. I met some other entrepreneurs from other countries, mainly, who have been successful in their lives, who have already invested in startups, so that I have been also interested to co-invest with them. I wanted also to connect all these guys I have met in Marbella, so I created this network, Marbella Tech Angels, to bring all these people together around Marbella who are interested to improve the local ecosystem. So we have more than 100 people, not only investors, but also entrepreneurs and mentors in this group. And then in 2017, one of our members, Anna Longoni, managed to bring a really huge event to Malaga, the IBAN Congress in 2017. And I was responsible to manage the startup competition there. And yeah, we managed to raise more than 1 million for 3 winning startups. Pedal Manager, Voila, and a Finnish startup. And so I got in the news, I got involved in the Spanish ecosystem, I got invited to other events, and I just increased my investments. So in the first 4 years, I made maybe 10 investments in startups, and then I increased my investments to more than 20 startups per year after 2017. Yeah, and that's how I got involved also in the Spanish ecosystem.
Doing the monitoring by yourself, huh?
Yes, still try, because I'm mainly co-investing, so the main work is going to the lead investor, mainly, the due diligence, and I try to find trustable people around me and follow them with co-investments.
Okay. Juan, you raised 15 million euros from business angels as a Seville-based company, incredible. Could you share with us your main experience in each financing round? How did you get in contact with the business angels? Where are they from? Tell us something about it, please.
Yeah. Well, good morning to everybody. Well, in general, all investors invest mainly in people. The idea is important, the business model, the business plan is important, but they invest mainly in people. And in the case of business angels, even more. Business angels invest in people. So in order to attract business angels to your company, it's critical to have a network of people that know you, with which you have a relationship. That's why more and more you see entrepreneurs being older and older, because it's great to have an experience, to have a network of people that believe in you. And in that sense, it's easier to raise money when you have a professional trajectory. And in my case, when I started, I raised 100,000 euros from 2 investors that I knew from before, from my past professional experience. And from then, I started to grow. Launching a company is like you need to go step by step, and the first step helps you with the second step. So, for example, in my case, the first business angels helped me to raise the second round, and so on. So each time you attract a business angel to your company, imagine that you attract any of those 2 gentlemen, they for sure will help you raise the following round. So this has been my case. I have been raising one round after another, thanks to the network that I have been creating little by little in my company. I started with 2 investors. I have now like 40 investors in my company. And when I raise more money, usually if I raise, for example, 5 million, usually half of the money comes from previous investors.
Okay.
And then they also help me get the new investors that come in the new round.
Okay.
And also I want to say here that in my case was also critical to get money from public institutions, like for example, here in Andalusia, the Jeremy funds managed by Soprea, because in this way, given that they are matching funds, if you're able to attract 100K, they give you 100K, and in this way, for me, it was much easier to raise money by having this public support to the company. So in that sense, it was, for us, it was critical to also to be located in Andalusia in order to help to get access to this public money to support the money that I bring from private investors.
Okay. Alex, as I mentioned before, Valencia closed 58 business angel transactions last year, excluding the 67 from the accelerator Lanzadera. In contrast, in Andalusia, we only closed 13. What are we doing wrong?
Well, it's hard to say. I think Valencia has a much bigger ecosystem for startups. There's many more incubators, accelerators like B-Booster. Lanzadera, as you said, I think generated 72 out of all of Valencia's startups. And yeah, there's company builders like Damium as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the sort of thing we have to strive to generate here in Andalusia and see if we can catch up with them and compete with the likes of Barcelona and Valencia.
Okay. Andreas, you mentioned before, you are a member of the European Business Angel Network, EBAN. Are there any general differences between a German, a British, and a Spanish business angel?
Not really. I think the main difference is the experience. I think that we have much more experienced business angels in UK and in Germany. The amount is higher than in Spain. In Spain, we have also great people like Carlos Blanco and Jesus Monleon and many others. But because UK, Germany just started, I think, earlier to grow really quick with a tech startup ecosystem, they just have much more business angels who have been entrepreneurs before. So okay. I think also Spain will catch up pretty soon with more and more successful entrepreneurs who mostly later also reinvest, I think, most of their profits again in startups. That's what I think.
And the entrepreneurs? Do you see any major differences?
It's the same. So I think that we have great universities here, great talented people. It's the same, but the advantage is that they can mix up with very experienced other entrepreneurs or business angels in other countries, and they can just grow faster because they can work together very early and learn much faster because they already have this advantage. But we are catching up, I think, here in Spain more and more.
Okay,
so I'm very optimistic.
Next question for you. Imagine you were both the Prime Minister and the Minister of Economics. You like this idea?
Yeah. No.
What kind of financial instruments would you design in order to maximize the impact for the regional ecosystem?
Okay, I have been saying this for a long time already. I think that we need tax incentives to move the money from more traditional investments to more risky investments. So in that sense, I would ask the regional and national governments to design, to be bold, to be aggressive in designing a tax incentive that is so good that people with a lot of money that is now putting this money in land or in, I don't know, in the bank, they could say, hey, it's not so bad if we invest in these tech startups because even if we lose the money, we are going to have a tax incentive on the money we invest. So I would be very aggressive on that sense. Imagine that if we have a system by which the investors investing 1 million in a startup, in a tech startup, they get, imagine, half of that money in tax deductions, that would be fantastic to attract a lot of money, because in our region, even though Andalusia is a poor region compared to the rest of Spain, there is a lot of people with money. And the problem is that they don't see the advantage of investing in startups. So tax incentives, that would be for me the main tool that I would use. Another one would be to train them. We need to educate business angels. We need to educate people with money in order to become business angels. They need to understand the process. They need to understand how startups work, because they don't invest the money because they don't understand. For example, my company, we do deep tech. We do biotechnology. This is very strange for normal people. So we need to educate people with money in order for them to understand the process, to understand the risks, but also to understand the rewards. In that sense, I would say that we need in our region, we need 3, 4, 5 big successes. Startups making a lot of money and making a lot of money for these people, because people is greedy, and if we see that these people, by investing 100K in one company, get 1 million in return, people will say, hey, I also want to make money. So we need successes, and we need these people having success, being in public, being in the news, in order for everybody to see this as a good opportunity.
I will catch up the point with the wealthy families. Alex, we have in Andalusia a lot of very wealthy families, like, for example, the Mora Figueroa, the Hernandez from Ebro, the Dominguez from Mayoral, and most of them don't invest in startups. Why not, and how can we convince them?
I guess, as Juan was saying, most of these families' wealth come from traditional investments in land and property and bricks and mortar. And they possibly see angel investment as a very high risk for what they're usually accustomed to. So, so we have to sort of change this mindset and show them that maybe not entering at seed stage, but later Series A or Series B stage, that they can make a high reward out of investing in new startups. So yeah, hopefully that can be the case, like as Juan was saying, with the tax rewards and stuff. So it would be nice to make that change for Andalusia, to see more investors and traditional investors coming into this sort of arena.
Another topic. Andreas, you as a member of the EBAN, in terms of fiscal policies, you know a lot of international business angels. What country in Europe is currently benchmark in this regard, and what would be your recommendation for the government?
Yeah, as Juan already mentioned, I think that's the UK model, which is, I think, the best we have, to have this tax deductions of up to 50% of your investments to be deducted from your income tax or capital gain tax. That's something which is, I think, one of the best models we have in Europe. In Germany, we have something else. It's also nice. If you invest as a German in German startups, you could get up to 20% cashback. That's also something new. It's also nice, but I think it's maybe better to deduct it from the taxes, because rich people usually have high taxes and they are very motivated to reduce them all the time. So it's a nice incentive.
Okay. One, there is enormous liquidity in the market. The valuations are increasing, especially in the main hubs, Barcelona and Madrid. How can we use this advantage to attract more investors to our region?
Yeah. Well, it's not easy. Maybe one possibility would be to give more visibility to the great startups that we have in our region. For example, the other day I was in Istanbul in a congress. I was invited by the mayor of Sevilla, where we are located, together with another 5 startups, to go to showcase in Istanbul. It was I think it was a World Business Angel Network Congress, something like that. And we were invited to go to Istanbul to show what we have in Sevilla. And for me, it was amazing to see that we have 4, 5, 6 startups in Sevilla, which are amazing, absolutely amazing. And I didn't know them, and I am located in Sevilla. So maybe we need to give much more visibility to the good startups that we have in order to attract this money. And the other day, I was talking with the Consejero de Economía from the Ministry of Economy here in Andalusia, the new one, and we were talking about possibilities of developing the region and so on. And I told him, if I were you, I would launch a program similar to Startup Chile. I don't know if you all know Startup Chile. Startup Chile was a project in which they gave, I think it was 40K or 50K, $50,000 per startup from anywhere on the world moving to Chile. So I would launch something similar, more aggressive, instead of 50K, 100K, 200K, in order to attract startups from all around the world. You know, for 2 years, I was living in Silicon Valley, and when I mentioned to the startups in Silicon Valley that we had these loans from Jeremy, from Mesa in Spain, they were amazed. They said, wow, this is amazing. We don't have this in Silicon Valley. We don't have this in many other like imagine, close to MIT in Boston or in London, in many places where startups are, we have like thousands of startups, they don't have these financial instruments. So I would launch this kind of Startup Chile in Andalusia in order to attract startups, and together with these startups, investors will come.
Okay. Last question for all of you, with a short answer, please. What are your concrete proposals in order to triple the business angel transaction here in Andalusia the next year? Alex, will you start?
So far this year, we've invested in 5 tickets in 3 Andalus startups. Apart from that, we also work with the accelerator. You mentioned a mobility hub. And with them, there's, I think, around 45 projects that they're actively promoting, of which 10 of those are also Andalus. So just with those figures from 6 months so far of this year, that's matching the figures from last year. So hopefully within the next 6 months, we can double that.
To send them to the guys from Web Capital Resco.
Yeah, definitely.
To keep it in mind.
Yeah, show them the stats.
For the league tables.
Exactly. So yeah, hopefully we're doing okay so far. So yeah, it's up to the rest of the angels to do their bit as well, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
So from my side, I also try to help here to also organize more events. Also with my other network, the Global Super Angels Club, we have also once a year a big event, Global Super Angels Summit, where we try to invite all the international big investors to come and see and the Andalusian startups, the Spanish startups in this wonderful region. So they will love to come all because it's so nice here. All international people love to come here, and it's a good opportunity to also organize more events here and present all these startups, create more awareness from them. As you said, it's very important to celebrate the good news, the success stories, and I'm sure we'll get more and more success stories now in the next months, and you have to celebrate them really loud and maybe create a kind of fear of missing out for all these family offices who are not investing really. They could invest maybe 5% or 10% of their money, which won't hurt them, and it would be a lot of money they would invest then in startups here in Andalusia. So we have to motivate them and with these kind of events and publicity.
Okay.
Well, I already said 3 tax incentives, education program for business angels, Startup Chile in Andalusia, and in order to give another one, I could organize maybe each 6 months a meeting between the biggest family offices in the region with the startups in the region, not only the emerging startups, but also the successful startups. For example, in the last two months, we had 2 exits in Sevilla. We had Geográfica, which was bought by Carto, and Bitnami, who was also acquired. So I would organize this maybe each semester, big family offices, successful startups, and emerging startups, in order to put them together, and to maybe from there you will get more investments.
Okay, thank you guys. My lessons learned from this roundtable session are 2. The first one is that the Andalusian business angel startup system is much more developed than 10 years ago, but it's still in an emerging market. And 2, we don't want to be Madrid or Barcelona. I think reaching half of their transaction would be great for us as well. So let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We are not Madrid or Barcelona. We are Andalucía. Okay, thank you to our panel. Muchas gracias.